As a man, you have to avoid life-destroying habits. I heard yesterday from Mark Manson that your habits will show in your 30s, especially in your late 30s. If you made the right decision or you have made decisions that actually work against you. Now, it is never too late because that's what I felt. I heard this and I felt triggered to a certain extent because I am in my late 30s and I see some of the things could have done better. But this is not a video about regret. We should not regret because if we are to regret, we are saying to ourselves, there's no way we can turn things around. But we also can have better choices we can make right now. And there are habits that we might still be doing, whether you're in your 20s, when you're 30s, your 40s, your 50s, etc., etc. There are habits that we could choose that are better because those habits will compound over time. As I said, for better or for worse. The mistake a lot of men, myself included, make is they choose short term gratification over long term fulfillment. Instead of having the pain that comes from discipline and consistency, we choose the pain that comes from short term pleasures. Let me explain myself. When you indulge in short term pleasures, whether it's video games, Netflix, drugs, alcohol, scrolling, you are definitely wasting your time unless it's done in moderation. Maybe not for alcohol, drugs, and porn, because all of those three things should not have a place in a man's life. However, when you indulge in those things, they will compound over time. If you eat too much food, you will get fat. If you do too much drugs, your life will be in dismay. If you do too much alcohol, it's the same thing. Porn, the same thing. Those things compound over time and they bring pain into your life. And you cope with this pain by indulging more in those short term pleasures, in those short term release of cheap dopamine. That is the problem. Life comes with pain. But we can choose our poison, so to speak. We can choose the discipline and consistency of following through, of having a vision, of having a call. If we choose this path, the path that will be filled with struggle, but it is a better path nonetheless, because the pain we choose to indulge in is the one that we accept wholeheartedly. We do not seek pain as men, but we understand that pain comes along, that pain comes with the territory. So we embrace it, or at the very least, we allow it because we understand that it will make us grow. When you go to the gym, I've struggled with going to the gym. I've struggled putting on weight, putting on muscle for many, many years. But after a while, after many, many years of frustrations, of struggle, of eating like a pig, I finally reached a weight that I'm very, very happy with. Same goes with letting go of cigarettes. Same goes with letting go of alcohol. I've given up alcohol almost 20 years ago. Now, I was not necessarily an alcoholic, but I was going in that direction. From 18 up till I was 19, almost to my 20s, I loved to drink so much. I loved the effect it had on me. And I see the effects it has on some of my friends who are still alcoholic to a certain extent. They're not necessarily drunks, but they do need to drink every time they go out. They do need to feel tipsy at the very least or get completely drunk. But that's again a subject for another day. What I'm trying to say, and I stood there, and to be fair, I still struggle with some things like food, but I have it in control because I understand the consequences of indulging in those short-term pleasures. Unfortunately, we live in an era, we live in a time, a modern day time where we have so much abundance and so much access to all those stuff that brings cheap dopamine in our nervous system. So the temptation is here. But we have to understand that the choices we make will compound. So by me choosing to not drink alcohol, by me choosing to not watch porn, those are beneficial effects that will compound over time that will make me a better person, a person that has desexualized his mind. If I were to let the food I eat control me, I will become fat. I would become lazy. I would become a sloth. I would have less energy. I would have less testosterone, so on and forth. So you have to understand that whatever habits you are doing right now, are you doing it in moderation? Let's say, are you eating enough but not overindulging and giving yourself a treat every now and then? Or are you completely binge eating? When it comes to Netflix, it's the same thing. Are you watching Netflix in moderation or are you binge watching TV shows and movies? Video games is the same. Scrolling is the same. Drugs and alcohol and porn are in another category altogether. I do feel that drugs, alcohol, and porn should not have a place in a man's life. And over time, you will understand why. Because if you are like me in your late 30s or in your 40s and 50s, you understand you will not recover as well. When you're in your 20s, it's easy to indulge into those without thinking there's no consequences. But over time, there will be huge consequences and you will have to pay the piper. So this whole channel is about this quitting porn and desexualizing. You understand that as a man, we have decisions to make. And those decisions are not big decisions, but the decisions we make every day in our day to day lives. Are we going to indulge in all those short term pleasures or are we going to choose otherwise? Are we going to choose the pain that comes from working out, from having a purpose, from having goals, from starting a business, from taking a cold shower instead of a warm shower, doing hard things? All of those things will compound over time and will make you a more self actualized person and you will access your full potential. That is why your habits are hugely important as a man. So choose wise, be aware, and be aware. Thank you so much for listening. I am Sebastian. I am here to help young men and older gentlemen quit porn and desexualize their mind and other addictive compulsions and behaviors. Links are in the description box below, and I'm sure I can help with whatever problem you have in that area.